don't know if you all know, but I also created a Sarasota City Foundation to help the city in times of need. So you know, when I got a grant of $5,000 when I first got elected, and we have it in the city so people don't get their water shut off. It was when the water moratorium was happening, we could help people maybe start a payment plan or something. We had some money left, and I tried to use that money to buy gift cards for our police officers, but they said I couldn't because the money that I had, which was my money, it was unrestricted. They're like, no, you need a budget amendment, so it needs to come to the commission, and then it was like such a process. But private philanthropy has helped us so much over this time. That veterans mural, we don't have money for that. That was I was able to get my friend who has a private foundation to donate $8,000, $8,000 or $9,000 to have that private mural at the Veterans of Foreign Wars, and that gave me, you know, so many other friends that have helped us with other projects. You know, a friend of mine donated $350 to every teacher in Sarasota County. Another one, you know, bought, you know, you've seen Elizabeth Moore, she bought the, you know, $3.5 million, $8 million property and donated it for conservation. I mean, do we have such a giving community? So I created a Sarasota City Foundation, had an event called the Mayor's Ball. I made fun of the people that attended. If you all had come, I would have cracked some jokes too. They were all in good fun. And we raised over $130,000 on Saturday.
Yeah, I think that's something, though, that we need to talk about, is this City of Sarasota Foundation, because it's, you know, represented as a City of Sarasota Foundation, and there's no rules about who and how the money is spent and everything. So I think that's got to be something that the commission discusses.
Well, it's a separate thing, kind of like the police foundation. The police has nothing to do with it.
It is, but it gives the impression that it's city sponsored. That's the rub with that. You know, if you're going to have a foundation that you're creating, that you want to administer the funds, it should be called something else and not called the City of Sarasota's Foundation, because then I think it's the city sponsored.
Well, the city can't have a foundation on it. Yeah, I mean, we could talk about that, but it's a separate thing. We raised good funds, and now we don't need a budget amendment to buy gift cards for our police officers. So, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Have a good evening. We're adjourned. Thank you. Ms. Antunes?
Yeah, I need to use your overhead.
You can just place it there.
Okay. It's great to be here with so much good news. I do have a concern, based on the last meeting about the City Foundation. And I would love to meet with you, Mayor Arroyo, about this. It was stated that this is separate from the city, but this is actually incorporated at City Hall. The activity uses the title of mayor in its activities. Like I said, the address is City Hall. And so the notion that there's a foundation that is located here, I don't know if these gentlemen actually are city employees. I'd be curious to know that. But if the city is the address, that's public property. It's in the public domain. The title of mayor is not a personal one. It is in the public domain. We don't have, and if you're collecting money in the name of the city, in the name of the mayor at an address, which is City Hall, we have 5 commissioners that make financial decisions, not just one. And the mayor is a title that rotates. So I'm also curious about the vetting of this foundation. How did it come about? Did Mr. Fournier get involved, since it is located here? But I'm also wondering about who gets invited. Was this exclusive? Was it by invitation only? How much did it cost? It seems to violate some fundamental principles of conflict of interest and assets that are in the public domain, and the disbursement of assets. How do you collect money in the city's name? Who decides? We elect 5 people to decide. So I think there's an opportunity here to get some clear ethical boundaries and parameters, to have an inclusive situation. I'm not clear this is legal. And the notion of giving out gift cards also raises some concerns about undue influence. So I'm sure everything is well-intentioned, but the way this is set up appears problematic, and I'd like to get some clarity and see if it's proper and how to move forward.
Thank you.
Yep.
There was, also, there's a right way and a wrong way to address a problem with someone. The right way is to just go and talk to the person about it. The wrong way is to go to a public meeting and accuse them of committing a crime and then say, hey, I might set up a meeting. To discuss this at a future time. So as many of you know, I'm a lawyer in private practice, and I specialize in a lot of trusts and estates and private foundations. I know just a little bit about them. And, you know, as we discussed when Commissioner Alpert brought it up, which I don't think it was an issue. I was like, I'll change the address. I can even change the name. I wasn't even that set on it. But there's an organization in town started by a mayor called Mayors Feed the Hungry, which is still active today. There's the Van Wezel Foundation, which is separate from the Van Wezel. There's the Sarasota Police Foundation, which is separate from the Sarasota Police. And I serve on the board of directors of the Florida League of Mayors, and that was something that they brought up, to having an event like that to benefit charity. So you know, I just, you know, threatening people with criminal liability is not something I can, that sits well with me, and that is in and of itself a crime in some places. But thank you all. I think today we ran a good meeting.